Hello and welcome to Wisdom Talks, Health Assured's new podcast series dedicated to unlocking your full potential at work, at home and in your private lives. Let me introduce myself. I'm Amanda Chadwick and you may recognise me from webinars on employment law. And I wanted to explain why I am so passionate about Health Assured and their services and why I said yes to hosting the Wisdom Talks podcast series. Health Assured gave me access to help when I needed it, and the service quite literally saved and changed my life. So let me start at the beginning and tell you a little bit about me and why I know that Health Assured is an essential benefit for any employee. When I was 17, I was in a really very good position in my career. I was in the right place at the right time. A lady I worked with had gone off with stress and I took over her role. I was offered a promotion to Swindon when I was 18, which was just a few weeks later. And I was very excited to take that. I had a great opportunity. And that night, I thought I'd better tell my boyfriend that I'm going to take the job. So I arranged to meet him at the local pub. I didn't drink, didn't smoke. I turned up there at 7:30, stood at the bar, chatting to my boyfriend, and we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And two known gangsters were in there at that time, ended up with a scuffle, and my boyfriend was shot in the face in front of me. I found myself that night not able to go home. I found myself being interviewed by the police with no police protection. And I ended up going into a Crown Court at the age of 18 and being a star witness in a court room with no experience whatsoever and putting two known gangsters in prison for a long time. It had lasting effects of which I buried. I moved to Swindon, I worked away, and while I was there, I worked with a lady that absolutely bullied me. She was very envious of my situation and the house that I lived in and how my company treated me. And I couldn't take it anymore. I used to go home, cry, very lonely, and I had nobody to turn to or talk to. I was on my own as an 18-year-old young person back in the early 80s in an area that I didn't know. So when the secondment ended, I couldn't wait to go home and my dad picked me up. And as he walked through the door, I just burst out crying. And I'm not on about like tears that just go, they were like SpongeBob SquarePants, basically, and they wouldn't stop. For the whole journey back from Swindon to the northwest, those tears didn't stop, and they went on well into the evening. So by 10 o'clock at night, my mum knocked on the door and she said, "Listen, love, me and your dad are really worried about you, and if you don't get yourself together, we'll have to ring the doctor, and I'm frightened that you might be sectioned." And that was the understanding of mental health in those days. I just read the book actually about Frances Farmer, which you should read. It's a very good book about mental health. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't want to be sectioned. So I pulled myself together. And I made such terrible decisions along the way, and it affected me because I had nobody to talk to about this and how I was feeling, and the fact that I couldn't concentrate, the fact that work was overwhelming. And one day I made a very bad decision and I married not a nice person, and I had quite a horrific marriage, which I'm not going to talk about today. And my world came tumbling down one day at work, in front of the company accountant. I couldn't take it anymore. And I just started crying again. And it was at this point, the company accountant said to me, "Amanda, have you rang the employee assistance program?" And I wasn't aware that we had one. I didn't even know what it was for. And I rang that number and it changed my life. I got face-to-face counselling. I got cognitive therapy. I had treatment for PTSD. I had support, and it absolutely transformed my life. During that, I can honestly say during those months earlier, I'd been faced with homelessness. I had debt. I had problems, obviously, in relationships. I couldn't hold attention spans very long. And this telephone call, this one conversation really transformed my life. So you've heard about me, and now you understand why this podcast is so close to my heart. I'm not a professional counsellor, so I will be inviting experts in each week to help you with your own personal challenges, no matter how big or small. And they will break down the subjects, give you practical ways to improve your life, and of course, leave you with their own words of wisdom. My own words of wisdom: everything starts with a conversation. And Health Assured are here waiting to hear your words.